So today's question is, can you explain histrionic personality disorder? My sister has recently been diagnosed with it. So histrionic personality disorder, or HPD, is a mental disorder characterized by excessive and exaggerated attention-seeking behavior. So those with the condition have a very distorted self-image and are completely consumed by their desire to be noticed by others and to be the center of attention. And so their behavior is completely melodramatic and often very inappropriate, all in an attempt to get noticed. So their self esteem becomes completely dependent upon this constant recognition and approval from others, and they tend to feel very underappreciated whenever they are not the center of attention. Now, contrary to what you may see on TikTok or on Facebook or on YouTube, the condition is actually very rare, and it's more commonly diagnosed in women than in men. But that's not to say there is a common misconception that NPD is diagnosed in men and HPD is diagnosed in women, and these are the same thing. But this is completely untrue. Men can also be diagnosed with HPD, and women can, of course, also be diagnosed with NPD. Now, HPD usually starts to manifest itself in late teens or early 20s. And the most common feature of HPD is the display of excessive sexuality in order to draw more attention to themselves. So you'll find that they're completely obsessed with their physical appearance and act completely inappropriately in terms of being very sexually provocative with pretty much most people they meet. And so as such, they often embarrass themselves in public, but not just themselves, they embarrass their friends and colleagues who happen to be with them as well. And because they inevitably come across as fake and shallow, they also have difficulty maintaining meaningful relationships. And people suffering with the condition also have a higher risk of developing depression or falling into substance abuse as well. Now, a lot of research still needs to be done in order to come to a better understanding of HPD, but it's theorized that causes for the condition may include genetic factors and, of course, the experience of childhood trauma as well. Now, obviously, the treatment for the condition is incredibly difficult. And it's incredibly difficult because most people with HPD almost never believe that they have behavioral problems or that their behaviors are problematic. And they also tend to not be totally honest about their feelings, and as such, really difficult and complicated to put a treatment plan together for them. So there are no medications which can be prescribed before HPD, and so psychotherapy tends to be the best option for treatment. And the purpose of which is to try and at least uncover the what motivates the distorted behavior itself. Of course, the the irony of HPD is that if you're around someone with it for short periods of time, they can actually make quite fun and charismatic companions. You know, they'll be the life and soul of the party, so to speak. But obviously, it can be a very debilitating illness, and sufferers do suffer quite tremendously with it, as do those their families and friends and those around them. Obviously, there's a lot of talk about it now because of the Johnny Depp trial and Amber Reed and so on. So, of course, I suppose it's something that's more well known, and so it looks as if it's much more prevalent than it actually is, but it's not. So so yeah, so that's what histrionic personality disorder is.